The year is 1945. The Pacific Ocean, vast and unforgiving, is a cauldron of conflict. American and Japanese forces clash in a titanic struggle for naval supremacy. Among the rolling waves and steel leviathans, a lone destroyer cuts through the water, the USS Hope. On her deck, men sweat and toil, their faces hardened by the relentless sun and the ever-present threat of death. Captain Thomas "Madman" Miller paces the bridge, his gaze fixed on the horizon. A seasoned veteran of countless battles, Miller is known for his unwavering courage and his almost reckless disregard for danger. But even he feels a knot of unease in his stomach. The kamikazes have arrived. The kamikazes, suicide pilots of the Imperial Japanese Navy, are a new and terrifying enemy. Their fanaticism and their willingness to die for the Emperor sends chills down the spines of even the most hardened sailors. Miller knows that a single hit from one of these planes could spell doom for his ship and his crew. The tension on the bridge is palpable. The men work with a quiet intensity, their eyes constantly scanning the sky. The air crackles with static from the radio, the only sound breaking the ominous silence. Every man knows that death could arrive at any moment, swift and merciless. The lookout's cry shatters the tense silence. "Plane sighted, bearing 220, altitude 500 feet. His words pierce the air like shards of ice. The enemy is upon them. The ship erupts in a frenzy of activity. The general alarm sounds, its shrill wail, a call to arms. Men scramble to their battle stations, their faces grim. The anti-aircraft guns swing around, their barrels pointing menacingly towards the heavens. The smell of cordite and fear hangs heavy in the air. Captain Miller's voice booms across the bridge, calm amidst the chaos. "Range!" he barks, his eyes glued to the approaching speck in the distance. 5,000 yards and closing, sir!" The response is immediate, laced with urgency. The kamikaze is diving straight for them. Time seems to slow down. The roar of the plane's engine grows louder, a mechanical shriek that grates on their nerves. The men can see the red and white symbol of the rising sun painted on its fuselage, a grim reminder of the enemy they face. The kamikaze is closing fast, a harbinger of fiery destruction. Captain Miller watches the plane through his binoculars, his jaw set in a hard line. He can see the pilot's face now, young and determined, his eyes filled with a chilling fanaticism. There is no fear in those eyes, only a cold, unwavering resolve. Suddenly, Miller notices something. The kamikaze is not diving straight for the bridge, the usual target. It's veering slightly, aiming for the ship's midsection, directly at the ammunition magazine. A hit there would be catastrophic, ripping the Hope in two. "All guns, fire at will!" Miller roars, his voice hoarse with tension. The ship erupts in a symphony of destruction. Tracers streak across the sky, a deadly hailstorm of steel and fire. But the kamikaze keeps coming, seemingly impervious to the barrage. "He's too low, Captain. Our guns can't depress any further," shouts the gunnery officer, his face pale. Despair grips the hearts of the men. They are out of options. All they can do now is watch and pray. In that moment of impending doom, Captain Miller makes a decision born of desperation, of courage, of a love for his ship and his men that knows no bounds. He grabs the intercom, his voice steady and strong. This is the captain speaking. "Brace for impact." Before anyone can react, Miller spins the ship's wheel with all his might, turning the Hope directly towards the oncoming kamikaze. It is a desperate gamble, a last-ditch effort to minimize the damage. The crew watches in stunned silence as their captain steers them headfirst into the jaws of death. The kamikaze slams into the deck, a fiery explosion that rocks the ship to its core.